Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how to install Ubuntu 24.04 LTS along with Windows 11. This method is if you have already installed Ubuntu. Um, we need to make preparation space for Windows in the Ubuntu partition. So we need to go ahead and resize the Ubuntu partition using a live Ubuntu flash drive or USB, however you want to call it. I would assume you already have an Ubuntu drive. Open up the actual application that's a built-in application with Ubuntu is the startup disk creator. Okay, so this application right here should be able to get us going with the USB drive for the Ubuntu OS. So once you have downloaded, you go ahead right here and click on other, search for the actual download. Normally it's in your downloads folder. I've already done this steps, which is why I'm canceling it, so you guys can go ahead, select that. Once your USB has been plugged in onto your USB drive, it's gonna show right here in the disk to use option. So you go ahead and select the USB that you'll be using and then click on make startup disk. Okay, so once we go ahead and have the flash drive ready or the USB, we go ahead and restart the computer, the laptop, or the system as you may want to call it, and then we try to boot from the actual uh, USB flash drive we just created. Normally we'll use keys such as F2, F12 depending on your system to load Ubuntu. We go ahead in this option, we go ahead and select try Ubuntu. We will need to install the Gparted tool. So the Gparted tool is something that is not built in. Once you boot through the USB in the live environment of the Ubuntu, we go ahead and open a terminal, and we go ahead and install Gparted because that's the tool that we need. So we just go ahead and do run these. Run these commands. Okay, as you can see, we've went through the first command. So I'm gonna continue right here. Gparted. Okay, so as you can see right here, I've already have the latest version installed, so nothing actually happened, but we're gonna go ahead and run it. Okay, so running Gparted, we can see that it's gonna show us our partitions, and in this case this is my main partition where Ubuntu is installed. But since I have already created a dual boot based on these same details that I'm explaining, um, I created a partition of about 70 gigabytes, especially for Windows. So if you go ahead and click on your main Ubuntu partition, it's gonna give you an option. You're gonna select there, and you can right click and click on resize, or either go to partition as well and click on resize. It's gonna give you a bunch of options right here, but I think you guys are familiar as to what's going on right here, so just go ahead and follow the details, create your partition properly, restart the computer laptop, and remove the actual USB that we've been using for Ubuntu, and boot into the actual Ubuntu that is installed. Okay, download the actual Windows ISO, and also we need to create the bootable Windows USB drive. And in order for us to do that, we need to actually install an application um, that is called USB. So I'm pretty sure that there are some tutorials on how to install this and have it working in Ubuntu. I honestly can't recall how I got it installed. I will put some of the commands that I have saved right here, which I think actually got it installed for me. As mentioned, we need to get that application installed, which I already have right here. Let me just go ahead and open it and just give you a view of how the small little application looks. It's very easy, it just shows you a couple selections. I'll go over this in a few. But as mentioned, we need to go ahead and download the Windows 11 ISO also. So let's just go ahead and do a search, Windows 11 download. We're gonna get the first website that we're seeing. We just go ahead and download it from the official website, and we just follow the details. Just go right here, and let's just go ahead and select the Windows type. Click on confirm. It's gonna ask us for the language. I normally just select the the US or the international English, and click on confirm. Then this is gonna give us a link whereby we can go ahead and click right here on the 64-bit download link, and we can go ahead and actually get the USB created. Okay, so this here is gonna be the source, or select the Windows ISO. Let me just go ahead and okay, I've selected the ISO, and right here in the target device, this is where your actual USB device will be showing. Select your device, click on install. Once everything has actually finished, you're gonna see it's gonna prompt you restart the system and boot from the actual USB drive. Follow the installations for Windows, and then select the unallocated space that we just created through the Ubuntu Gparted application. You may need the RST drivers to show partitions while installing Windows. You can download this from the official website. Let me just quickly go right here and bring it for us. Search for RST driver for Windows 11, and as you can see, we can go ahead and select the first option, which is Intel, which is for my type of computer. There may be different ones, so you can do a different search on which matches your one. So we go ahead right here, and we download the setup RST.exe file. I've done it a couple of times right here. So once this has been downloaded, we can go ahead and find it in our downloads, which I already have right here, and we extract all the files. We extract the files that are inside, and once we have those files extracted, we can be able to save it to a secondary USB, and this we will be able to use it during the installation. So once you reach to the point where the Windows installation asks you to select the partition and there isn't any partition showing up, uh, there is gonna be an option at the very bottom on the left. It's just gonna show like a small little disk right there, which is load driver. Once you select that option, it's gonna open up a small window right there, and it's gonna give you options to search for the file. In this case, we're gonna search for the USB, select the file, confirm confirm apply, and it's gonna show the available partitions. I went through the steps, so I'm letting you guys know it's gonna work. And once the partitions show, you'll be able to see the specific one that we created using Gparted. Select that and proceed with the Windows installation. Once the Windows installation is finished, it's actually gonna log into Windows as per normal and stuff like that. It's gonna load all the applications and get everything running. It takes a while, for the installation and everything to be set up properly. uh, One thing for sure is that what I notice is that every time the computer or the laptop is restarted, it normally boots straight into Windows as if Ubuntu doesn't exist. And there is a fix that I was able to find, which is what I'm gonna show you guys right now. Okay, so here is the method on how to go about updating Grub. Okay, so for us to be able to update Grub, we need to open up a terminal, and let me just go ahead and do sudo nano ctc /grub. This will let us access the file, and then we need to make a couple of changes. So right here, what we're looking for is this line, Grub timeout style. Normally it's set to hidden, so we need to go ahead and change that and put it to menu. Once we do that, we're good to go with the other step. If this line isn't there, you can go ahead and add it. Okay, and what we're looking for, the other step is the Grub timeout. The Grub timeout, this gives us the number of seconds that Grub will actually be showing during the boot time. In my case, I have it set to 5 seconds. Okay, so you can go ahead and make that change. And if we're gonna have other OSs, like I have Windows already installed, we need to go ahead and put this option to false. Okay, Grub disable OS Prover to false. Okay, we then go ahead and save this file. We save the file. Once the Grub file has been saved, we can go ahead and do an update. This will go ahead and it will update the file as mentioned, and it's gonna show us that it found a Windows Boot Manager. So this is gonna be added to our Grub menu. This is where we need to go ahead and restart the PC laptop, and once we do that, the Grub will show, and we'll be able to actually select Windows or Ubuntu to log into. And this is actually all the steps that are necessary in order for us to be able to run Ubuntu along with Windows. Guys, thank you very much, and as mentioned, I'll go ahead and keep doing all these stuff for everyone to keep learning, and I hope to be able to send out another video.